let's talk about HIV and AIDS, because a coalition of civil society organizations networks in HIV, tuberculosis, and malaria is mounting pressure on government to immediately facilitate a clearance of health commodities donated by the Global Fund, valued at over $40 million, currently stranded at the Tema Port for almost a year. These commodities include antiretroviral drugs, insecticide-treated nets, rapid diagnostic test kits, cartridges, and others. Addressing a news conference this morning in Accra, spokesperson for the CSOs and president of the Ghana HIV and AIDS Network, NS, Amwaben Austin, said the government's lackadaisical approach towards the clearance of these goods spells a looming health disaster for the country if the government does not act now.
The leadership of the coalition of CSO networks in HIV, TB, and malaria wish to bring to the attention of the media and the general public our intention to present a petition to the presidency and parliament on the continued lockup of Global Fund donated health commodities at Tema Port. The commodities in reference, valued at more than $40 million, have been wasting away at the port since May 2023. They comprise antiretrovirals for treatment of HIV, medications for treatment of TB, ACTs for treatment of malaria, insecticide-treated nets, rapid diagnostic test kits, and gene expert cartridges, among others. The situation has currently created stockouts in health facilities across the country, leading to needless loss of lives and frustration for health workers. The essence of our intended action, therefore, is to draw the attention of the presidency and parliament to the looming public health emergency if no immediate actions are taken on the matter. As a background, we would like to point out that the Global Fund has since 2002 supported Ghana's national response against HIV and AIDS, tuberculosis and malaria to the tune of more than $1.2 billion. These funds are made available to the country in cycles of 3 years. For example, for Grant Cycle 6, which was implemented between 2021 and 2023, Global Fund supported the country with more than $250 million. For Grant Cycle 7, which is to be implemented between 2024 and 2026, the Global Fund has earmarked about $248 million for the country. Between May and August 2023, Global Fund, as part of its commitment to GC7, shipped HIV and AIDS and TB and malaria commodities worth about $40 million into the country. In line with regular practice, Global Fund made available $400,000, being 1% of the value of the commodities, to cover procurement and supply management costs.
Right, so what really is the problem here? Spokesperson for the CSOs and president of the Ghana HIV and AIDS Network, NS, Amwaben Austin, joins me via Zoom. Mr. Austin, you're welcome to the pause. I'm sure you've been checking on this matter. What really is preventing the clearance of the drugs at the ports? Because my understanding is that these are donations, and for that reason, it shouldn't go through the challenge it is going through.
Yes, a very good afternoon to you and to your viewers as well. Indeed, this issue is a mind-boggling one. We have commodities which have been donated by the Global Fund worth more than $40 million, and our government all that they are supposed to do is to clear these commodities so that they'll be made available in health facilities for treatment of our compatriots. However, for more than a year, these commodities have been stuck at the ports. And we have been following up with the Ministry of Health for a very long time now. We have been giving assurances that the commodities will be cleared, but each time a deadline is given, they fail to meet the deadline. So today we felt we've had enough because we are aware that antiretrovirals in the country will be running out next month. And that is going to be a very serious public health emergency because persons on HIV treatment will not have access to medication. And when that happens, even when the drugs are reintroduced, these persons are going to develop a resistance against the previous medications that they were taking. And then they would have to be put on second-line medication, which is even more expensive. So we feel that we come to the point where governments must act on this matter. It's not only HIV and AIDS products. We have TB medications as well. We also have treated insecticide nets and other cartridges and other commodities which have been lying at the port.
I just want to find out. This is clearly a matter that should be resolved between the Ministry of Finance and maybe GRA. I don't know whether you've probed into this aspect and what vibe are you getting in terms, because clearly somebody must write to GRA and say that let these goods be cleared.
So our understanding is that that kind of engagement has already taken place. And the GRA was saying that the Parliament of Ghana failed to make some waivers, 3 specific waivers. AU levy, ECOWAS levy, and then COVID-19 recovery levy. These 3 levies were not waived by Parliament, so it meant that Global Fund needed to pay for those levies. And then it also happened that these commodities came in at a time when we had increased our ports charges. And so what was initially made available was insufficient for the clearance of the goods. So according to the Ministry of Health, that is what was causing the delay. The levies not being waived by Parliament, so meaning they had to be paid, and then increments in the port charges. So instead of the original $400,000 that the Global Fund made available, government was asking for $3.6 million before the goods could be cleared.
And if you want to simplify it, these are drugs meant for the government of Ghana, isn't it?
Exactly so.
And the same government of Ghana is frustrating the clearing of these goods.
That is the mystery. That is the mystery surrounding this whole issue. Because as we speak, as I mentioned, these commodities have run out in our health facilities. So it's really mind-boggling why we continue to hold on to these commodities in the ports.
So beyond the news conference, what more are you planning to do to get this matter resolved?
Well, fortunately, this morning before the press conference, we had a visit by the new Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority in the person of Madame Julie Esiam. She came in and she held a meeting with the leadership, and she indicated that she is a new Commissioner General and she's coming to office at a time when the Finance Ministry also has a new Minister Designate, and there are lots of new persons around the table now. The Health Ministry also has a new Health Minister Designate.
Who is yet to be sworn in.
The issue has not come to their attention, and they want to intervene. So she has asked us to give her maximum 14 days, and the first batch will be cleared this very week, and then the second batch will be cleared finally in 14 days. We have indicated to her that we are ready to cooperate with her to get these goods cleared. But nevertheless, we are still going on with our course of action, which is one, to present a petition to the presidency and then to Parliament. Just this afternoon, we began the process. We've sent a letter to the Accra Regional Police Command, notifying them of our intention to have this demonstration or petition sent to the presidency and to Parliament. We are going to collect signatures from people around the country so that they will understand that if they go to health facilities and they don't find these commodities, it is because they are held at the ports. So that together they can join us in bringing pressure on government to bear on this matter.
So that assurance you got that from the GRA that they are working to ensure that by next week we will have the first clearance, does it mean that they will sidestep the parliamentary process to have this thing addressed?
Well, according to the GRA Commissioner General,
Mr. Austin's line is breaking, and yes, please go on.
To work with everybody recognizes that this is an emergency. So whatever they will have to do to get the goods out, they are going to do that. And we are giving her the benefit of the doubt. But nevertheless, because of previous assurances that we've had and failure of same, we have decided to go on with our processes until we see the goods cleared from the ports. We have indicated to her that when they are ready for the first clearance, the media should be invited. We ourselves should be invited so that we all see the commodities being cleared. Then everyone will be satisfied that indeed the process has begun.
Mr. Oxen, my final question will be, in the absence of this, whilst we battle the legalities to get the goods out of the Tema port, for those who are relying on the antiretroviral drugs and those who are looking forward to their TB and malaria drugs, what danger are they in?
Yes, as I mentioned, when you are on medication for HIV, for example, and you go off that medication for some period of time, when you resume your medication, that same medication will not work for you because you have developed a resistance for that medication.
And that is you exposing yourself to reaching the HIV status, the AIDS status.
Exactly so.
The AIDS status.
Exactly so, because exactly so. Once you are able to get this medication, this life-saving medication, then you are predisposing yourself, towards, getting opportunistic infections and all of that. And for TB, the treatment is such that if you go off treatment for a very short while, you could just lose your life. And we are having reports of such cases around the country. We are entering the rainy season. We are supposed to be distributing bed nets to pregnant mothers, children under 5, and so on and so forth. But these commodities are not available in our health facilities. Rather, they are stuck at the ports. A very mind-boggling situation.
It is.
And so that's why we are asking that government, invokes all emergency powers whatsoever to get these commodities cleared.
I want to thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Mr. Oxen leads some civil society groups that are working to ensure that the HIV drugs, tuberculosis drugs, and malaria drugs already that are held up at the Tema port are released.